exploring the risk factors to formal financial for artisanal and small-scale mining operation. Society impact details minority in sub-Saharan Africa, those involved in artisanal and small-scale mining operations through to access funding for the their operation. This reserve is promised on fostering access to formal source of funding for those who are involved in this occupation as involved in SDG A by identifying the risk factors observed by formal lenders which limit access of the miners to such funding. Please online the value of the social impact this research will have through an impact overview statement. This statement should address several of the following questions. How will this society impact be achieved? How have these social impacts been achieved? Please provide details on the approach or methodology employed. Formal lenders were contacted with a view to identifying the factors that prevent them from ensuing long-term operation. The factors that are considered important for long sum from the bank's perspective were recovered. Stakeholders in the ants industry, including the miners themselves, were then contacted to understand these factors, the play, and how they could be meeting to improve loading into the miners. The result of interviews conducted with the bank and the hairdresser in the ants industry were presented. Based on the finding, the identified factors were discussed and recommendations were made on how to improve formal financing in the sector. To what extent do these impacts help address important social exchange? The negative impact of harm is a global concern. Although the document impact had centered around the negative effect of ants operation on the environment, health and safety of the miner and the host community. My research has shown that these changes can be attributed to the inability of the miners to access adequate funding to advance and clean up their operation. They studied to forth provide a perspective on how to address the global concern on its activities. Are the impact of local, regional, national, and or global value? The impact are of global value. In some countries and has been on the policy engine of government, especially across countries where ants is predominant. An international donor organization such as World Bank and the United Nations, who can or will benefit from this impact. The key benefits are the artisanal and small-scale miners themselves. Another group of direct beneficiaries are government in countries where arms predominate, because improved credit access for the miner will a government effort aimed at formalizing the industry. Who can those in the other reserve areas learn from and build upon the social impact? Please highlight multi-order interdisciplinary aspects, issue relating to artisanal and small-scale mining are interdisciplinary by nature. No love in the front, till research can help to in social science as well and banking and financial to understand how ants can be funded effectively with the formal financing. Likewise, truth in the meaning and engineering of mineral science discipline can focus on development of models for effing in ground and mechanization of an operation where the use of efficient financial discussed in the study will be helpful. How can this research be used to develop future projects with social impacts? Scholars working in the formalizations to ants can benefit directly from the research. One major challenge admittedly against formalization of AMP in the lack of financial inclusion of miners in the sector occasioned by the poor credit worrying in the miners. Thus, by identifying the factors affecting miners' creditworthiness, this research established a foundation for improving lending in the occupation. Since the risks are now known, they can be mitigated to improve credit access. This constitutes so awful tool for scholars in the field and for policymakers, especially by extending this study. Future projects can design and develop can provide methodology for improving the creditworthiness of miners in us sector with the aim of improve their access to credit. Who sustained short-term versus long-term impact, replicate and transfer artist impact, use considering formal incision of an industry have dominated academic discourse centered on art for the past 20 years. Following same of these studies, many developing countries had taken steps to formalize in the industry, but will limit success working to the poor credit asset of the miner. Finding In this study, improving health effort and effective formalization of the as industry. How does your research help deliver and job transition process? This study provides some empirical findings that will help achieve higher level of social impact. With police measure should complain you resort to maximum is social impact, vice versa. With pay of policy force barrier, this study recommends the government consider strengthening measures, organization as cooperative or wide chain to access or answer operation to formal financing. Social impacts, artisanal and small scale meeting is a long test labor-intensive method of mineral extraction and processing. The number of the recorded employment creative bit has been exponential increase since the turn of century. Globally, the occupation currently employs over 40 million people, and in many low and middle income countries in account for 60-90% for foreign direct investment, 20 and 60% of total exporting, up to 20% of government reserve, and up to 10% of national income. The occupation is usually carried out in the informal sector of the economy, but there has been a recent drive by government and non-governmental organizations to formalize the industry by capturing the operator into the formal domain through incentives. And landmark study B and others hazard that small scale enterprise are generally more labor intense than the largest scale companies, and they usually account for more record employment. This is equally true in rural communities where opportunities are particularly scarce. Thus, local economies are considered to be primarily sustained by us and the no large scale mining companies because the former proves employing an alternative means of livelihood for local community rather than the latter. As activity also create other small business around the mining cities highly to a source of livelihood for believers living around the mining operation. Examples of the test business are local food vendors and other merchants who sell products that may be needed by the miners working in the mine slide. However, access to financing has been identified as one major chain of the ancestor. The ancestor is completely excluded from formal bank financing. One existing method used by the miners in the industry to fund their operation is through funds obtained from informal finances. But literature has shown that the term on these funds are usually involuntary to the miners, and this leal then enters productive trust. Also, the inability of formal lenders, such as commercial banks, to predict the validity of an by quantifying and pricing the credit risk of such investment limiting the abilities of the miner to assess formal bank finding. Typical formal lender purpose that they take a lot of risk by extending lending service to the type of miner. Thus, as operations are usually unable to access the needed capital that could help them advance their mining operation. The consequence of this is that they sell for of inadequate and inefficient technical for mining and processing will limit their probability of ultimate gaining in the poverty circle. There is the fear and need to identify and understand the risk factors that limit operations from asking formal soft and financial. Thus, this study identifies the risk factors that limit their access to bank financing. The exposition of these factors has enormous positive social impact on miners engaged in this occupation. Firstly, with knowledge of credit risk in the industry, lenders are now out of the critical areas for the diligence when using loans to this group of miners. Having knowledge in the risk areas minimize the risk exposure of lenders when lending to us operation and will ultimately score loan strength to miners in this sector. This will promote financial inclusion on miner of industry, more investment for us operation, and more funding for the level mechanization, more productive and more contribution of the informal sector to the overall economy and growth of the nation. Secondly, inability to ask operations to attract formal investment in as a major reason they use shares can crude method of mining and processing without saving efforts the environment. One on the fuel study will rely the inability of miners to attract miners investment their methods of operation. Poise that information of mining operation prevent access to land and the certain mining products. This causes the miner to adopt short-term business planning and improve solutions, which compromise staff of workers on the environment. Bueno, la investigación destaca los desafíos que enfrentan los mineros artesanales en África subsahariana para hacer el financiamiento formal a través de las entrevistas con prestamistas. Se identificaron factores de riesgo que limitan el acceso a préstamos, como la necesidad de licencias mineras y la falta de garantía. La incapacidad para atraer inversión formal impide la mejora de las técnicas de extracción y procesamiento, perpetuando la pobreza y el daño ambiental. Esta investigación propone que al comprender estos riesgos, los prestamistas puedan desarrollar herramientas para evaluar el crédito, lo que podría facilitar el financiamiento formal y promover la formalización. Esto no solo beneficia a los mineros, sino que también contribuirá al crecimiento económico y a la sostenibilidad ambiental, alineándose con los objetivos del desarrollo sostenible. Muchas gracias.